The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What is up? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline. It is Friday, October the 11th. It's time for some Cowboys Lions talk. It's Friday. Let's figure this out. Let's see what you guys are thinking all week long. I've got a little bit of predictions here, mostly Cowboys picks, but I'm sure there'll be a few maybe calling in saying they don't think this is going to happen this week with the Lions. Boy, the Lions are rested. Should be a great matchup this week. We'll find out. We'll find out a lot about this team, see if they can really stop the run, see if they can stop a pretty good quarterback, if they can stop another great pass rusher in Aiden Hutchinson, and stop this Lions team that'll be coming in here looking to avenge last year's loss for sure. But they still gotta stop the Cowboys on defense as well. Could be a high-scoring game. Should be a lot of fun. We'll talk about it here, 888-855-2297. You can text the show, 817-290-3298 as well. We will definitely get some of those text line questions if you send them. All right, let's do this thing. Let's start us off here. Gary in New Mexico is first off. Gary, what's up?
Hey, Nick. Heard you got serenaded the other day on your show.
What's that?
I said I heard somebody singing a song to you the other day on your show.
Oh, yeah. This is how we do it. Remix. Loved it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It was awesome. Yep, Anthony, my guy.
Okay, I'm not going to sing to you, but I do have a two-part trivia question for you this morning.
All right.
And then a quick comment about the game afterwards. Okay.
All right.
The Dallas Cowboys and Lions, once upon a time, played in what is still the lowest scoring playoff game in NFL history. What was the final score to that game?
5-3.
Close.
5-0.
5-0. That's right. Dallas beat them 5-0. En route to their first Super Bowl. My dad, I wasn't born yet, but my dad was actually at that game in the Cotton Bowl.
Right.
And he kept the program to that game.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
He kept a lot of those programs. So when I was a little kid growing up, I would get in his drawer where he kept all this stuff. I would read those programs and study those programs, man. That stuff just fascinating.
I loved having I collected programs as well. Now we don't even do them anymore. Yeah.
I know. It's a different time. Okay, second part of the trivia question. Okay, that was the Cowboys' first postseason shutout.
Okay.
They've had three postseason shutouts, so that was the first of three playoff shutouts, which ties them with four other teams for the NFL record. Can you tell me who the other two playoff shutouts were against?
Playoff shutouts. Well, I would say maybe I feel like the Bears, like in the 70s, 77. Like I feel like there was like a 37-0, the Bears or the Vikings.
You're close. They beat the Bears 37-7 en route to Super Bowl 12. The other two, you want me to tell you the answer?
Yeah. We
Okay.
don't have to sit there.
The other two shutouts: the '78 NFC Championship game against the Rams, and then the 1981 divisional playoff game. They shut out Tampa Bay 38-0.
Yeah.
That was the game right before the catch.
Got it.
Okay, quick comment on this one, but let's get back into today's time here. Okay. Tough game this week. It's going to be a hard one. Can they win it? Yes. Will they win it? Who knows? But I will say, and we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago, expectations versus standards. And you know my expectations because I'm a delusional lifelong Cowboys fan. But if the Cowboys can figure out a way to pull out this game without sustaining any more significant injuries, then I think we do need to reevaluate the expectations for this team. Your thoughts? I'll hang up and listen.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's good. That's a good thinking here. And this happens with every team in every league, you know, where you kind of like, what are we? What can this team do? What are the expectations? And how you should move forward on things. Which players to play? Are we going younger guys to try to get them ready or not? And I think this is one of those games that'll kind of help us figure that out. Like you said, going into the bye week, and if they win this game, to get to 4-2, that would be huge with the bye week. Even if you don't, It's how the game is played. But I still think that you're going to look at this, win or lose, I think you're going to go into the bye week and go, there's still a lot of football to be played. Let's get healthy. Let's get these guys back. And, I think the focus is going to be, hey, let's go try to win. Let's go try to get into the playoffs. Like, as for the expectations, I still think that is the expectation. Go win your division. You haven't played anyone really in the division yet other than the Giants. Washington looks like they're going to be, pretty formidable. I mean, they're not losing. They got a game this week against the Ravens. We'll find out a lot about them, if we haven't already. So, still, a lot of football to be played. The expectations is to go win this division and get into the playoffs. I don't think that's going to change one way or another, but I do understand the premise of the question, and I do think this would be a really good barometer to see what the Cowboys can do against a really good team against the Lions. All right, let's go to Rod in El Dorado, Kansas. It has been a while. Rod, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick, it's good to hear. Good to talk to you
Yeah.
here. It has been a while since I've been able to call in.
Sure.
I heard you say here a few weeks ago that this season, just based upon what we've seen so far, is going to be a kind of a grinded out season, and I do believe that every game's going to be. It's not going to be blowout wins like we had last year. I think every game's going to be tough, and I think that may be true, or is going to be true this Sunday. Win or lose, it's going to be close and a tough grinded out game. But just a couple of thoughts. One of them, a comment. I know that Deuce didn't play last week, and just as far as a run game, I was impressed with what Rico did, especially there in the second half and in that last drive. I personally, I'd like to see them that stay with Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And if you bring Deuce in, my only problem with that is teams know that he's limited to. You got to get him out in space where he can operate, and they haven't been able to do that. Teams know that that's the only way he's going to be operating. I've been disappointed that when they have brought him in, that and he's from K-State here, where it's just in my backyard, and I like him, but all they've been doing when they brought him in is try to send him up through the middle and so forth, and he's not effective there. But I don't think they can disguise it when they do bring him in. So I'd rather than just see them stick with Rico, bring Zeke in on every third possession or so, bring him in on goal line situations. And you got to even be careful with Zeke, because teams now know what, if we bring him in, he's great on pass protection, but you're kind of limited on what you can do with him. So that's one comment. Then my question for you, because I haven't heard here lately, what's the status with this John Paul Stevens, the tight end? I have not heard his name called. I don't know if he even got into the game or if he's been active.
Yeah.
I know the other tight end that they brought in. He had a couple of good catches the other night against Pittsburgh, but I haven't heard about Stevens here lately. I was wondering if you could shed a little light on that.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you for the call, Rod. I'll start with the tight ends. John Stevens he was injured first couple of games with the hamstring, and so he was destined to make his NFL debut and make that return from the ACL injury. And he was one of the top 3 tight ends. Then he gets hurt, comes back, and I think he's been healthy the last couple of games. But they're going with Brevin Spann-Ford as the third tight end. He got a couple of catches in the last game. Bigger body, a little bit more of a blocker, and also showing that he can catch the ball too. So right now, Stevens has just found himself 4th on the depth chart of tight ends, and where they only are using 3. And if they needed a 4th, Hunter Lipke can do that as well in the game. So it's just not working out for Stevens right now to be active, but I think his time will come sooner than later. These guys get hurt. It's a long season. They're going to need John Stevens at some point. I think he might give him a little bit more juice down the field. But as it stands right now, that's just not an option that they're looking at. But that can change quickly, of course. As for the running backs, Deuce Deuce averages 2.9 yards a carry, and he doesn't have a lot of carries. It's 7 carries, but nothing longer than a 4-yard run. They haven't gotten him going in space yet, and it's just hard to take him to the game and find more roles for him. I would have liked to seen him on kickoff. I guess that wasn't something they wanted to do. So as it stands right now, he was inactive last week. That's probably going to be the case this week. But again, like Stevens, just somebody that stay ready, and when his times if his time comes, he'll be ready to go. But it's not happening right now. He's just not one of their top options to run the ball. All right. Let's keep this thing going. I guess lines are open right now. 888-855-2297. You can text the show at 817-290-3298. We can, Chris, we got anybody on the line, or you want to take a quick break?
No, we got Brian in Kansas City.
Brian in Kansas City. All right, Brian, let's go. How are you doing?
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Well, I gave it some long, hard thought after you called me the Trent Dilfer to your doomsday defense. So I wrote you a couple of bars.
Okay. All right.
So
okay.
This is for the man who's the glue of all Cowboys media.
Okay.
We all need Chris Beam to lean on. The break might have a problem that he'd understand. We all need Chris Beam to lean on.
I like it. I like it. We all lean on Chris Beam. This is outstanding.
I'm telling you, he does everything, that guy.
That's unbelievable. Good stuff. Anthony, move over, man, because I mean, it's one thing to do the Montel, but Brian coming through with our producer. I don't know though, Beam. What do you think?
Thanks, Dad.
Hey, I'm just waiting for the check to show up in the mail.
I'm joking.
Just keep waiting on that one, Brian. But anyways, good stuff, man. I like it. If this is what this show is going to turn into, I might have to call a timeout. But so far, so good. That was pretty good stuff there, Brian. I didn't know where you were going with that, but it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. All right.
Oh man. Hey, so I just wanted to get your opinion on one thing, and then I'll throw out my player. So this week, both teams I think are solid teams. I think it's going to come down to which unit has to really stand out. So we're getting our DBs back, right? We're going to have everybody that we need in the defensive backfield finally. Our linebackers have played well when the defensive line has played well. Our offensive line has had some struggles. So what's your opinion in what unit has to step up for the Cowboys to get a win? For me, it's the defensive. I fought back and forth between O-line and D-line. I think it's going to be the D-line because if they can control the running game and the clock, I think that keeps Dak off the field, and that's going to be a problem for us.
Sure.
And
I agree.
My old-timer, if you got a story, is Doug Free.
Doug Free. Okay.
Have a good one, man.
All right. Thank you, Doug Free. Let me go back to your point, though. I agree. It's maybe more so than just the defensive line is the front seven with the linebackers. I don't like seeing Eric Kendricks on the injury report with the shoulder/calf. You don't want to see a slash to anything on the injury report. Like two different ailments there. Shoulder, calf. Did not practice the first 2 days of this week here, Wednesday, Thursday. And then to make it worse, the backup, Nick Vigil, also missing some practice with an injury. So how they fix that in the middle of their defensive, run stopping packages, we'll see if Kendricks can play this week. He's still got a lot more, got Friday, got some practice on Saturday. So he's not completely shut down yet, but it's not looking good. It's just from the two guys that you have at middle linebacker, and you have to stop the run. That's what I think the biggest thing for me. A story about Doug Free, I really don't have much there. And obviously I was here his whole time, kind of a quiet guy. But I've actually hung out with him a little bit at a NASCAR event. He was in the infield of a NASCAR race and hanging out. He was a little bit more jolly than other times, but he kind of fit that mold of the offensive tackles, offensive linemen. Didn't like to talk. Didn't do all that. That was kind of his thing. He kind of kept to himself, but good solid player. For a while on the line, and it was a good draft pick too. I think a 4th round pick, out of a smaller school, Northern Illinois, I believe. Somewhat smaller, and turned into a pretty good player. So that not a big story though that I have about him. All right, let's go to Derek. He's in Springfield, Missouri. This has been a Midwest show here. We got Kansas, and now Missouri. Derek, Springfield, Missouri.
Hey, how's it going, man?
How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Can't complain. Hey, I've got a question, and then a prediction, and then a favor. So, my question, Deron Bland, do you think that, I know he's, trending to play, how do you think that'll work? Do you think he'll start the game, or do you think they'll, work him in, second or third series? And then, that's kind of my question, on how you think they'll use him.
Yeah.
And then my prediction is I think the cardiac Cowboys will strike again. That's what I call them these days. And I think we win 31-30.
Oof.
I think Aubrey calls game and wins it for us. And then my favor is I know you've got a lot of pull up there, so I need you to find Jerry and Steven and maybe even Will. And I need you to get Aubrey, Jordan Lewis, and Osa all extended for us.
Oh.
Because, those guys are great.
Yeah.
So, just make that happen, man. I know you can.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that one. And I don't, it's not just those guys. We've learned over the last, forever, but definitely in the last 12 months that the agents play a role in this as well, and so they know what's going on. I'm looking at the contract status here. Aubrey is signed through 2025, so he's got another year. Who else did you say?
Okay,
Osa,
Jordan Lewis, and Osa. I know Osa's coming up.
Yeah,
and I don't.
They
did
both
we just
are.
bring Lewis back for one?
You know what? I mean, that's happened several times. It feels like he's on a lot of 1-year deals. But we're seeing the value for him and what he brings to the defense. And every defensive coordinator that comes in here, their first thought is probably I don't know about this guy. And then they few practices and then they love him. So he's that type of guy. Yeah, I'd be surprised if he's not here next year. He's the longest tenured defensive player on the roster right now because Tank is on IR. So he's been here since 2017.
Yeah, he's been great, man. All right, well, hey, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Derek.
Have a good day.
All right, appreciate it. We think that was not his first time caller, but even so, we can give him a here we go. Yeah, just because we want to, because it's Friday. All right, let's go to Bob in Rio Grande Valley. Not a first time caller, but not even first time this week. Bob, what's up?
What's going on, Mick?
How are you?
I'm looking forward to Sunday. I think it's going to be Groundhog's Day. I got my predictions for you.
Okay.
I see Aubrey kicking 5 field goals. I see Dak finally getting a touchdown by air. I see the Cowboys sitting on 22 points and the Lions score a touchdown and to get to 20. And Groundhog's Day, they try to go for 2 again and don't make it. And we wind up 22-20. And by the way, you got any stories about Marion Barber? Have a great day.
Right.
Love your show.
Well, thank you. I'll say this. I have stories for Marion Barber, and I told some of them in the documentary. You want to check out a documentary? Get a box of Kleenex and get the. It's called Barber, Do What You Love. It's one of our Deep Blue documentaries of this past year, or this a couple of months ago. It came out, I guess, in August at training camp. Barber, Do What You Love. Our crew there did a great job with that, and I was I was interviewed for it, so I have some stories that I told there on there. But so that's what I would suggest, and we can keep this thing going. I mean, he was an outstanding runner, a violent runner, and somebody that his teammates loved him. I mean, that's the thing. That's the one thing I really took from that. His teammates loved him, and his family obviously loved him, and he's gone too soon. And so, but they did a great job in that 45-minute documentary of really telling his story and from different perspectives as well. So if you get a chance to check that out, it's called Barber Do What You Love. It's in our Deep Blue series. You can find it on YouTube or on our website and watch it. It's really, really fascinating. All right, let's it'd be interesting if they go for 2, and they will. They're going to do something. I mean, Dan Campbell's going to do something like that. So just be ready for the. They're going to have their guy come in here and report eligible, and they got to be ready for it. I mean, they've been coming off a bye week. They've got something in the works. Now remember, this is a team that also threw a touchdown back to the quarterback last week. I mean, Jared Goff caught a touchdown. Every pass he threw was caught. He even caught a touchdown and threw that in the stands. I bet that was caught. So they like to do those types of plays, and so you can expect that to happen in this game. The Cowboys have to be ready for all of it. So and even when they run their base stuff, they're pretty dang good. All right, let's take a break here on Cowboys Storyline. We will come back with more questions and calls to answer.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together. And we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Head to AT&T Stadium to experience Rally Days. It's tomorrow, October the 12th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's presented by SeatGeek. It's at AT&T Stadium. You can check out the Dallas Cowboys. They have ticket giveaways. Cowboys cheerleaders will be there. They'll have games, a lot more. Visit AT&TStadium.com/Rally Days to get your tickets today. All right, let's go. Let's go back to the phone lines. Curtis is in Ada, Oklahoma. Curtis, what's up?
Good morning.
How are you?
Excellent. I just got 2 things. The first one, at some point in the year, and we kind of talked about this, and you kind of asked me, like, well, who would you rather be, the backup, Cooper Rush or Lance? And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, if Dak Prescott goes down, I don't really know that it matters a ton. I mean, obviously it does, but for one game, maybe. But I just would like to see, especially after seeing Justin Fields last week, they ran like an RPO to the left, and so everybody went to the left to stop the quarterback run and the pitch, and then they shuffle past it inside, and I just thought that was really slick, and I wish that we could do something like that. Like, unless it's the first play of the game, maybe you get 50 plays. If you are in a bad situation where you now have to use Trey Lance, maybe you run half of those. He can't give you 20 plays with the money and position that he's got on the roster. So I would, and then after that game, if you can, go to Cooper Rush if Dak's out for an extended period of time. So I would like to see that some point in the season. If it was me, I would use that to my advantage. Best case scenario, you have an additional wrinkle. You score a couple touchdowns in the red zone, and then I just listed basically the worst case scenario. For this weekend's game, I would like to see them defer the kickoff. They've been taking the ball for the offense, and I get it. If you get up, hopefully you can pin your ear back, you can put some pressure. But we've been starting off slow, and I think that teams kind of assume that we're going to take the ball. So maybe you just, put them off their game a little bit. And then I hate sitting in the second quarter and our defense is on the field and I'm like, oh, man, we really need to stop. Oh, wait, they're going to get the ball back again in the second half. So our offense just hasn't been doing it, and I would like to see them change that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I still like starting. Thanks for the call, Curtis. I like starting the second half with the football too. I mean, just you don't know what the game is going to be like, but if you've got the lead, it's nice to have the ball and try to extend it. And if you don't have the lead, then obviously you need to get the ball and go score and get back in this game. Set the tone in the third quarter. I just think the tone is usually set in the first quarter. I mean, the crowd will be going crazy. There'll be towels waving and all that stuff, and go get a stop on defense. And especially, I don't know right now. The offense, like you said, Curtis, the offense hasn't got the ball and started off well and taken it 80 or 75, 80 yards to the house for a touchdown. That they haven't done that. I mean, I think you'd be better suited to try to get a stop on defense, and if not, you're down 3-0, 7-0. I mean, you still got to get back in the game. It doesn't mean like you have to change anything. I just feel like it's better to have the ball to start the third quarter. That's what I'd rather have, especially at home, because I mean if the crowd will be amped up and ready to go, and that might give you a better shot on defense than it will be in the third quarter, because it's dead coming out of halftime, and you don't want them to just take the ball and drive. So either way, you got to make a stop. It doesn't really matter, but I do think personally I'd like to take the ball to start the second half, and then I'm not even going to entertain all that Dak, Trey Lance stuff. I mean, let's not even go down that route. Let's just keep Dak healthy and ready to play. Yes, running quarterbacks can help, and Trey Lance would be valuable in certain things, but he also has to throw the ball some too, and we've seen that didn't always go well either. So I think for what it is, he's in the role that he needs to be in right now. All right, let's go to a text question here. This is let's see, what is this here? Hold on, I'm not going to read that just yet. Rick in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Rick, what's up?
Morning, Nick. How you doing?
How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Enjoying another beautiful day over here.
Okay.
So, just real quickly, I don't know, I wasn't able to listen earlier, but I just want to talk about, I think, the 3 keys to victory of how we're going to win this game.
All right.
And first off, I'll start with number 3. We all know this. It's a big issue, but we got to stop the run big time. We got to make them one-dimensional, and hopefully our corners can hold up and half second longer and get some coverage sacks. I think that's huge if we can do that. Second, for me, is a clean game. I know it's been an issue for years with the amount of penalties we're getting and all that, but if they can run a clean game and no untimely penalties, I think that would be key to a victory as well. And lastly, for me, I think that watching that game last year in Detroit, I was like, man, I'm afraid some of our players are going to get injured the way they were attacking those knees and how physical they were. So for us, I think we need to be a hell of a lot more physical than Detroit, and I'm talking like mean, in their face, hitting them hard, like creating chaos, controlled on our side, uncontrolled on their side, and I think those will be the keys to our victory. And I just wanted to say what I think my final score will be.
All right.
I think the final score will be 27-20, our victory. And let's go Cowboys.
All right.
And just all get offline and tell me what you think.
All right. Thank you. All right, Rick. Not bad. I mean, those are good. Those are good keys to victory. And because I believe them, because they're pretty generic. That's what that's what teams tonight on Friday Night Football. That's what they're saying. Hey, we got to stop the run. We got to not have penalties and mistakes, and we got to be physical. Maybe not in that order. Maybe, but those three things. And that's. And I'm not saying that's not. I mean, it's generic, but sometimes football's not that. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. I mean, it can be pretty simple. I mean, yes, there's a lot of these, analytics and numbers and stats and all this stuff. But when you really break it down, guys, we got to figure out we got to stop the run, make them one-dimensional, and make them pass. Yes, they have a great passing game, but if we know that coming in, that should help us. So don't get behind the chains. Stop having false starts. Stop being 1st and 15, 1st and 20, and holdings. Play downhill. You play downhill, you should be fine. And you've got to be physical, especially with a team like that's going to come in here and they're going to try to punk you. There's no doubt about it. You got to match them. So I like the call, and I like your points there because it sounds pretty simple, and sometimes it can be. That's what this team needs to do. They've got to get these three things. They should be in good shape to go win this game. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be close. But I think it's a bad matchup for the Cowboys. I think the Lions are a little bit better. They're a lot healthier. But that doesn't mean that team always wins. But I do think the Cowboys have a shot to win it. I think it's going to be a close one. Let's go to Champ in Nebraska.
Hey, Nick, how you doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Hey, real quick, I was going to try to serenade you. I wasn't going to try. I was going to try to get my wife because she is definitely the singer in our family. But I don't think she'll do it. She's embarrassed. Also, it's my son's 14th birthday, so I'd like to send him a shout-out. Happy birthday, Malachi, today.
Awesome. That's great.
And, okay, for football, so I wanted to clarify yesterday. I don't know if I got my point across when I was talking about McCarthy. I hope you don't take it that I don't respect or don't like him as a coach. You're a great coach when you can have a 12-5 season 3 years in a row. His game management and his play calling, I feel, has not been what it was last year. And I think maybe I don't know why it's changed. Different team, maybe, I don't know, but that's what we're dealing with there. I have a point to make, or a question to ask. We were talking on the StoryLiners last night about the best 5 offensive linemen, and I really felt like the 5 that ended the game were probably the best 5 in those positions with Tyler Smith out at left tackle. But I've always wondered whose decision it was to not have him play left tackle, if it's him or the organization. And if it's the organization, is it because they don't want to pay him left tackle money because he's going to earn that out there? And also, if you have time, I know people kind of ask for stories, but do you remember any specific story? I know it was a horrible time, but something you'd be willing to share that stood out when we had that accident that killed a teammate back in the early 2010s in the DUI accident? I know Jason Garrett did a great job holding the team together and the team banded, but just if something you remember, I'd appreciate something positive out of that. All right, have a good weekend. Go Cowboys, and be blessed, brothers.
All right. Wow, that's tough. That's a tough one to say. Something positive that came out of that. I won't spend a lot of time on that. Josh Brent still works for the Cowboys here, and so he works in the scouting department. And so he's been able to have a career on that side of the building for sure. That was a tough moment there for the team, obviously, and obviously for Jerry Brown and his family, of course. But Jason Garrett, I thought like you said, did a great job of kind of getting that team together. That was one road trip in Cincinnati, one flight. I actually was not on that trip. I made it to the game, but I did not go on that trip, so I don't have the memories of that, but I know post-game locker room with Garrett, that was people have said that was one of his finest moments there, and how they got that team together and won that game. But obviously it was a tragic situation, and they've tried to make the most of it with Josh Brent and his family, and Josh, like I said, has a job here with the Cowboys. It has for a while. It's a tough transition back into football, but as a offensive line, Tyler Smith, it does not come down to the money in the contract. I feel like they feel like Tyler Smith can be an all-pro guard, and he could be a good tackle and maybe a Pro Bowl type guard tackle. But it's the same with Zach Martin. I mean, Zach Martin can play tackle. Larry Allen could have played tackle and did play tackle. Better guard, strength, interior strength inside. Being able to, I mean, he's very smart, being able to help the center, help the tackle, being able to see those things. You're not really on an island. He's a very, very intelligent player and also one of the strongest players on the team and the league. They feel like his more natural position is at guard. If he has to play tackle, then he will. But I think that they all feel like he could be a very dominant guard for many years, and so that I think that's where the thought process is for him. All right, let's go to Rob in Vegas.
Hey, Nick.
Rob, what's up?
How you doing?
Good.
I think this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Let's go. Let's get it going.
This game is on the offense. I mean, right now we're averaging 23 points, a touchdown less than last year. The Lions average 26, and our defense gives up 26 a game. So you've got to know going in, you need 30. There has to be a 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the offense, Mike McCarthy already has to say to himself, my defense is probably going to give up 30 at least. Even if they just play average like they've been doing, both teams, you're right there. So this is on the offense. This is on Dak and CD, Turpin, whoever. They need some big plays, and they got to play better. They got to play more like they did last year. It's going to be a struggle because we struggle against, this is kind of like a 49er style offense, a lot of motion. You have to affect Goff. The only good thing is he's not very mobile.
Yeah.
So this is a game, unfortunately, I think we're going to miss Micah out of all the other games, out of the last game, because he's the only guy that could really hunt the quarterback, and you could see Goff gets rattled, and I don't know if we have anybody that can rattle him. But hey, it's time to step up. It's time to prove it. It's a statement game. This is your third home game. You got blown out the other 2. It's time to make a statement. You got the bye coming, so who knows?
Yeah.
I don't feel great about it, but.
Yeah.
They do good against the Lions. The games are usually tight, but they usually pull it out against the Lions, and I just hope they do it Sunday.
Yeah. All right. Rob, I agree with you. Thanks for the call. And, I do think that you're right about the offense. I mean, this is one where the offense is going to have to step it up. I just don't see this defense stopping the Lions a lot. They just they're very efficient. They can do it in so many ways. I mean, they've got a top 10, maybe top 5 receiver in St. Brown, and then Jameson Williams, really, really good, really dynamic. A really emerging young tight end, Sam Laporta, that made the Pro Bowl last year. Two great running backs, an offensive line that's mean and nasty, and a quarterback that's very efficient throwing the ball and showed that in his last game. That's just on offense. So I just have a hard time thinking that that they're not going to go score some points with 2 weeks off like that. It's I don't know how the Cowboys can stay in it and keep it close. I think they will. They'll figure it out. They'll figure out a way to keep it that way. But this really is, like you said, it's going to be a tough matchup. I don't see it. I don't see the Cowboys being able to get this one. I'm going to have to put this in my gut feeling article. I don't see it. I wish I did. But Dak just looks stacked against them in this game. But man, I hope they prove me wrong for sure. All right, let's take a break here on Cowboy Storyline, our last one, and we'll come back and take a couple more calls.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Alltech Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alltechlansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's ALTECLANSING.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Alltech Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Celebrate the best of the autumn season with Wrangler Fall Fest at the Star in Frisco. Join us Saturday, October 19th for a day full of fun for the entire family. Visit thestardistrict.com for more information. All right, let's go to Chris. He's in Saratoga Springs, New York. Chris.
Hello, Nick. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. I want to go back to our last game. I have a question for you. What you thought about McCarthy calling a timeout when Hunter Lemke got down close to the goal line and letting Pittsburgh, use one of their timeouts. What was your thought process on that? Why do you think he called a timeout there?
I don't know. A little early for me. I would have let a few more seconds go off the clock. But maybe he thought they were going to need 4 downs to score. When you get down there like that, you think, all right, you're going to score. And you don't need to worry about that. But I would have called it. I would have let a few more seconds roll off the clock to about 30, and then called it. But I thought it was early.
I definitely thought it was early.
But
I wanted them to at least see if they were going to use it.
Yeah.
Waste a couple seconds. But he called it immediately, and I'm like, I almost lost it on my TV. I just didn't understand. Yeah. As far as the game this weekend, I don't have the same feeling you do. I just think everybody thinks that Detroit's going to beat us. We've lost 3 in a row at home. No expectation is on the Cowboys to win this game. And last week we won a game right at the end where we normally lose it, and we won it. I just have my gut feeling is they're underestimating us, and we're going to protect our home, and we're going to win this game this weekend.
I love it. I mean, and that I think you could be right. I mean, I just have a hard time seeing it with just how great their offense looks. But they have lost. I mean, it's not like they can't they can't lose. And they're not they're definitely beatable. So this isn't a situation where the Cowboys are like 2 touchdown underdogs. I mean, I think the line is like 3. So yeah, it's going to be a close game. And maybe I am overestimating the Lions, which, I mean, I've never done in my life. I've never overestimated the Lions before. So maybe I should fall into line with what you guys are thinking there. Chris, you could be right. And I have a feeling. Let's go to our next call. I have a feeling Lewis in Langston, Oklahoma, probably feels the same way. What do you think, Lewis? Cowboys?
Yeah, I'm going to ride with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I figured you would. What do you think about this game, though?
You know what? Unfortunately, it scares me, but at the same time, Dak has played really well against the Lions, so I got a little hope that we can make this happen. It's hard to be 100% when you don't have D-Law and you don't have Parsons and whatever, but I'm trying to hold the faith and say, hey, we got this. But they have so much firepower on the offensive end.
Yeah.
But watching some film or whatever, they do look acceptable to like passing game. So hopefully maybe we get the CD that we've been looking for, like not the first half CD, the second half CD where he can get over 100 yards, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Tolbert does, see if he can make it 2 games in a row so we can not have to worry about if we need to get somebody else or be talking about trading and all that kind of crap. I don't want to hear all that no more.
Yeah. How about take the last year's CD against the Lions when he went for like 227? We'll take that one.
220. Yeah. Now I know they got the rookie corner. I kind of thought Dallas was going to draft him for a little while because the way he was falling down in the draft, I was praying that they didn't. But he's really nice. He plays press coverage real well, and they've been playing a lot of press this year. They don't play as much zone as they did last year, so maybe that bodes well for CD because he's great during the press coverage. But at the same time, like I said, it's hard to pin it down and say, yeah, we got this game, especially the way their offense is moving the ball up and down the field. So I'm looking at a like 31-27 kind of game. Like I said, I'm still going with Cowboys. I'm going to call every time I call. I could be as scared as I want, but I ain't never going to say they're going to lose the game.
Yeah, well, I understand that. I get that. And that's a diehard fan right there all the way. Lewis, I appreciate the call. Let's keep it rolling here to David in Fort Worth. David.
Yes, sir. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Hey, I want to touch real quick on everybody. I feel like people kind of need to chill out a little bit on the Mike McCarthy criticisms, which is game management and stuff like that. I think he's done a really, really good job overall, missing a lot of players and everything like that, and positive season. So I just want to say that everybody kind of chill. Mike Tomlin, Dan Campbell, the guy who we're playing this week, he has questionable things. Robert Saleh already got fired. I mean, we could be doing a lot worse at the head coach position. I just wanted to put some positivity. Real quick, my son, the one who I had last season when I stopped calling, he is turning 1 this Sunday.
Nice.
So for this Sunday, I think Turpin's going to have a big game. I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win in overtime, 34-31. I want everybody to have a great weekend.
David,
yes, sir.
It's going to be Tolbert. It's going to be Tolbert, number 1 for a 1-year-old birthday party. And Tolbert's going to have the big game. I know you say Turpin, but it's going to be number 1. It's going to be Tolbert.
You know what? You might be right because I accidentally said that yesterday. So maybe that was just my gut telling me it's actually going to be number 1. You're probably right, man. Either way. I think Dallas. Yeah, I think they're going to have a great day. Hey, I'm not going to sing. Chris, I'm glad that you got a song today, man. It was beautiful. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
That's awesome, man. You certainly did. That was good. That'll be our last call for the day. David, thanks for the call, guys. Great week as always. Let me say this though, real quick. You mentioned I got a couple of minutes here. You mentioned the part about McCarthy. When you get to that situation of all right, you're under a minute. Are they going to let you score? Is that what Pittsburgh's going to do? Are they going to try to stop you? So I didn't love the timeout right then, but I kind of understand. Like, all right, let's talk this thing through. Here we are, and everything's changed now. Lipke gets down there inside the 5, so let's talk this. Like, what are we trying to do? What are we trying? Are we trying to score? Are they going to let us score? I still wanted a little bit less time off the clock because you score on first down, you give them, I think, 2 timeouts and 40 seconds or so to go down and kick a field goal to tie. So I would have tried to drain a little bit of time off the clock there, but I don't fault him that much for it. There's a lot happening there, and if you want to just say, all right, everybody calm down, this is what we're doing, I'm okay with that. I would have probably just waited 15, 20 seconds. Just waited a little bit and then call it and see if Pittsburgh calls it first because I still think if you would have cut it down to 35 seconds, 30 seconds, you could still run 4 plays. I mean, you can run 4 plays because you have timeouts. You can run it. You can do everything you need to do. But hey, they left them with 20 seconds. It's 2 weeks in a row now that they've left the team with about 20 seconds to go to do something, and they couldn't. So, I can't fault them too much for their game management when they've had these 2 close games, and I think they've managed it pretty well. So, a couple things I would change here and there, but, I think that's always going to be the case. All right, great week. You guys had good callers today. 12 calls, a lot of picks, a lot of predictions. We'll see, especially the ones that picked the Cowboys. Most of y'all did. Let's hope that you guys are right, because like I said, I don't have that strong feeling that they're going to be able to pull this one out. I just think the matchup, just the injuries are just too much on defense to go up against this Lions offense. But I'd love to be wrong on this one, and I hope you guys are right. All right, so we'll be back next week. It'll be a bye week. It'll be a little different for us, and next week we've got just 3 shows. Might do something a little bit different on Wednesday on the Storyline, but we will be back on Monday to talk about this game. So for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eben. We'll see you Monday on Cowboys Storyline. See you.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?